Zoveel talent en zoveel routine en dan zo weinig cd's maken. Meesterpianist Enrico is een raadsel. I am not a human being. I am from planet Mars. Mr. Pace, could you explain to me what is a piano?
Well, a piano is a string instrument with hammers that strike these keys, so it produces it's vibrating strings. And this sound travels in space and hits suddenly in the ears of other people, and this produces, hopefully, pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, this depends on, of course, on how is the performance and on how one feels that evening. You know, it's so. But there is such a lot of things going on in the brain and in your and the dopamine acting in neurons and in the neurotransmitters that this whole complex.
What is happening?
Well, I suppose when the sound hits the ears, then there is, of course, a very complex process. And after all this process, we realize that we're hearing sound. Can you imagine how this is? It's miraculous, I mean, that this takes place. And moreover, to be able to recognize these sounds in patterns and in structures, this is a real great achievement in mankind, if you think that we... I mean, since millions of years, we're struggling to survive and to, well, better our condition.
Yeah, but in fact, there's something electric going on.
Yeah, of course, it's there are little sparks, let's say, that go from neuron to neuron, and, well, how it really works, it's still, I think, quite of a mystery, but it works.
Yeah. Okay, let's listen to a piece of you, a piece of Liszt, and then talk about what happens to us while listening to it. Mr. Pace, you once said, vibration is the very basic in all matter. In atoms, nothing is still, and life springs from that. Are you aware of that fact while playing something like this?
Yes, of course. I mean, you always follow up the vibration that is in the air. That is what you are looking for, what you think about when you are producing a sound, and it's what you should pre-think. I mean, it's all a projection of your most inner thoughts that get realized in this vibration. And indeed, vibration is the basics of life. I mean, starting from the Bible, and the principle was the verb. I mean, vibration then. And from science, vibration is in atom, and it's subatomic structures. It's always something moving. Life is movement.
You created vibrations in '89 when you won the Liszt Festival. Do you still know why you won it?
Well, I actually don't. I was a youngster and I was not really well prepared for this competition because I saw this advertisement like 4 months before. And then I went to my teacher and I said, look, I would like to do this. It's a Liszt competition. I love to play Liszt. And then he said, look, but you have to play things that you never practiced before. And I said, yes, but I want to. And he was totally against it because he said, of course, for a competition, you must prepare well. You must think before years and have a program that's really... And I said, well, I'll do it. And then I came, and I, of course, Utrecht, since then, it's really something in my heart because it was a very special happening for me. And everything turned out well, with luck, I suppose, with the fact that
it was only luck?
Well, luck is very important, I think. And the fact also, I think, that in the jury there were many performers, many piano players, really. So I think they looked at what could come out from that guy, I mean, that special guy.
With
there,
all that
but
hair.
Not what, yes, but not what was there in the moment. They saw a sparkle of something that would develop, and I'm very grateful that they did this.
Yeah. A newspaper called the Irish Times wrote about you after having heard you play Liszt. He has the virtuosity and the visionary musicianship to make one hang on every last note of these familiar war horses, those great Liszt compositions. How do you create that effect?
Well, Liszt has the problem that since there are many notes to be played, sometimes they're played either too loud or too fast, and then you lose the meaning, you lose the flow of the music. Whereas I think there is a lot of lightness also in Liszt, and you have always to take care that the sound produced is really, it's consequent and it's good sounding and never too much, too aggressive. I think Liszt was a great musician that had a lot of insight into the future and in music, and he was always struggling to find out something new, and he found out new directions also in music. He suggested how music should go on to the impressionistic or to... I mean, I have a big esteem of this figure in music history.
A colleague piano player said to me, the biggest danger with Liszt is that you start hammering, like bang, 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 bang.
The problem is that the piano is a hammer instrument, but you should never hear the hammers, in fact. So it's all a matter of, you know, transforming this percussion in singing tone. And this is, the thing to achieve this is how you put every note after the other. It sounds very simple, but in fact it's what we in fact sometimes have to play like little tricks, because we're not a string instrument, we cannot follow the note after.
What is a little trick, for instance?
No, a little trick is like to say that sometimes as a musician you do love to play every note so intense, like a violinist, and he can vibrate on it and he can give after he plays the note. But as a pianist you're lost. After you have hit the note, there is only a wave going down, in fact. So you must know that the next one cannot be the same and the same and the same, because sometimes I also realized in myself that you want to give the top expression, but then you end up hammering, you see? Yeah. So that's a problem with piano playing.
Okay. Your friend, Igor Roma, also a pianist, once said that Italy doesn't have real romantic piano componists. But he says there have been a lot of romantic pianists in this country, like Michelangelo, like Pollini, like Pace. How come that there are not Italian composers like Liszt, but so many of these piano players?
Yeah, I think it was the period maybe in the 19th century. Somehow in Italy we had a lot of opera houses, and the opera was really coming from the past, from the 18th century, was developing. So then we had Bellini, Donizetti, Rossini, Verdi, then Puccini eventually. But I mean, there was so much on the singing, And maybe later on, of course, you named the greatest pianist of this time, and thank you for putting me into this list, even if I don't know if I deserve to be there. But
professional, modest player.
No, it's not. I think the achievements of these people are really wonderful. So it's an honor you say this, but well, Italians, players. Well, after I mean, we are talking about 20th century. They have a special maybe care for detail and attention of this singing tone, of course. So maybe that's what makes them.
Do you have any idea what the essence of your talent is, in fact?
I have no idea. I hope to have any talent at all. I mean, what is talent? One cannot say. I mean, I love music. I try to express this love when I'm in front of the audience, and I try to play for the sake of music, and then hopefully one hears it and one hears this attention and this care that you should put in every note, in every phrase you carve out of your instrument.
But what is the most stupid thing you ever read about your talent?
Well, you can say many things, but
like?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, talent is a possibility, so it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to make a critical point maybe when I was younger, or I mean to say that it's important to find your own direction.
Okay,
in
but
music.
Sorry to interrupt you. What did they write about you that you didn't like?
Well, this I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I don't believe you.
No, well, I try to think positively. So, you know, a good critic is always good because it makes you think and want to improve.
It has been written that you were too eager.
Yeah, well, but you see, it can also be positive. I'm eager to make music, and sometimes, you know, this can overdo things. I mean, it's...
you want to be too good to be true.
Well, everybody wants to be too good, but in music it's a continuous process, so you never reach a point. You always strive to get somewhere, but
you're looking up in the sky. Yeah. Is there a God, in your opinion, who gave you a talent?
Yeah, well, of course you're born with certain talents. I must be thankful to my parents that saw that I have a music talent and encouraged it, but wonder how many children have a talent for something, but they are forced maybe to do something else. I was never forced. I knew I loved music, and I just said I want to be. I even didn't say it. I just wanted to play the piano and to be a musician, and that's all.
What did they do themselves, your parents?
Oh, they bought me a piano immediately when I was like 6, and you know I could just practice whenever I wanted. And they saw that I loved music. They put on records. They were very musical, loving parents. So I was really lucky to be in
What kind of professions did they have themselves?
Well, my father was a chemist, so in pharmaceutical. Yeah, maybe that's where it comes, a certain attention for, you know, practical and physical matters in me.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother worked as a translator and did some, she was Finnish. So.
Coming back to God, do you believe that there is religious inspiration, that there is somebody or some power up there or among us?
I definitely think that what you can call this vibration or this something, there is something. Name it as you want. Name it God, name it Allah, name it. Really, I think all this matter of religion against each other has no sense, because it's just a way of mankind of expressing a certain urge for something that we all have. Even if you're atheist, you have, of course, you believe in something. You can believe in music, you can believe in literature, you can believe in beauty, you can believe in love. You don't need a God to be a good human being.
No.
But we, as human beings, need to feel support. When we are children, we need to feel the love of our parents and the surrounding. And then as humans, when we feel alone, we need a support for something else. We call it God. We call it energy.
Yeah, music.
Music.
You studied with Franco Scala, isn't it?
Yes.
What kind of man was he?